2 of our road trip along the Albanian Riviera, and we are continuing our hunt for the best beaches. Many people know Albania for its popular destinations like Sawmill and Sarande, but we want to show that there are many more places to admire. First up in this episode is the municipality of Himare. There are a ton of excellent beaches in this area, including paid clubs and public beaches. Himare has a classic beach town feel and even features a boardwalk with restaurants, shops, and plenty of places to get ice cream. Near the center of Himare, you'll also find that all of its beaches are sandy. Us being us, we headed to a quieter location, which we actually visited a few years ago. You can't drive directly up to this next spot, and you must walk about 5 to 10 minutes. This is the Kicho Meniko restaurant, which also has an elevated beach area with seating along concrete terraces and a small boardwalk. The restaurant serves typical seafood dishes and is one of the most unique atmospheres you can enjoy a meal along the entire Riviera. To switch up our beach routine, we decided to visit the old town and castle of Himare, just up the hill from the coast. The historic quarter is very quiet, but it's the perfect alternative if you've been spending all your time at the beaches like we have. At this point, we had zero clue of where we were going because there are minimal signs for directions. But we continued to go up and finally reached the top of the hill and found the ruins that overlooked the sea below. Emmy was the one that actually stumbled upon this church that had really well preserved fresco paintings. There is one cafe in the heart of the old village named Butterfly Cafe, which served beautiful views and some of the best sweet treats we had on the entire trip. The next afternoon, we headed to one of the largest yet underrated beaches along the Albanian Riviera. Borsh Beach is really wide, which means there's tons of space to find your own area without a crowd. It is also a pebble beach, which we prefer because we don't love coming home with sand absolutely everywhere. We're back on the road and make a quick pit stop to get rid of our trash. Trash is kind of difficult to handle in Albania, so whenever we see a big container, we take advantage of it. Another quick unplanned stop to deliver some urgent ice cream. Today was the day which we entered the belly of the beast of southern Albania, which is the Sarande district and arguably the most popular. This was the first glimpse of Lake Butrint, which actually connects directly to the Ionian Sea. Lake Butrint is also known for its perfect conditions to cultivate mussels, resulting in the area's distinct Butrint mussel. We then entered the famous Sawmill area from the north and stopped at one of the first areas along the shoreline. There was a large stretch of coastline that looked dismantled, concrete rubble, disheveled beach umbrellas, and rebar poking out from the ground. We never found out why this area looked like this and whether a storm occurred or if it was torn down for a reason. What we did know was that it was one of the very few areas in Sawmill that had free beaches. In search of something better, we veered onto a dirt road which led to a more promising beach, but first we had to greet some goat friends. Most people visiting this beach walk down this hill, but we decided to drive because, well, we can. Edonbina Beach is gorgeous, but also interesting. Pretty much 70% of it was paid, and only a sliver of it was left for the public, which means free. The following day, we popped into a free Venetian fortress, which was in impeccable shape, but unfortunately provided little to no information. Our Airbnb was booked in a village named Ksare, which is south of Sawmill. On a map, it's very close to Sawmill, but in reality, there is no bridge over Lake Butrint and only a cable car ferry. It was a fun experience, to say the least. The ferry is able to carry cars in addition to passengers and is simply operated by a powered cable. As expected, they charge tourists more than locals, but honestly, it was a memorable and entertaining experience. Upon landing, we immediately found ourselves at the entrance to the Butrint Archaeological Park. Sure what to expect, but overall we were pleasantly surprised by the historic sites, their condition, and the information provided. For our daughter, the most exciting feature were their turtles. After the park, we drove towards the Bay of Butrint, where we were essentially alone. From here, we could even see views of Ali Pasha's floating castle in the distance. On our last day, we decided to properly explore the many beaches of Sawmill, most of which are man-made. There are virtually 0 free beaches within this area, so you must opt for a beach club. During the summer, you can expect beaches to be packed and a fee of anywhere from $20 to $40 for an umbrella and 2 sunbeds. We decided to give one beach club a try, and the experience wasn't terrible, but it wasn't something we'd choose to do every single day of a holiday. Before departing Sawmill, we stopped at the Himare Monument and Cemetery, which we found by chance. It gave us a moment to briefly learn about a piece of Sawmill's history before we headed inland. It's time to say goodbye to the Albanian Riviera, and next up is Central Albania.